On January 20th, President Donald Trump signed Executive Order 14172, naming the body of water off of Southwest Florida the Gulf of America. Now we're bringing the Gulf of America right to your door. If you're looking to show your patriotism and rep the Gulf of America, go on madeInswiffle.com to get your Gulf of America gear. Hats for $15, shirts for $20, and koozies are just $5. It's simple, affordable, and made right here in America. MadeInswiffle.com. Get all your Gulf of America gear shipped right to your door anywhere in the USA. On today's episode of America Unfiltered with James Pascalides, we'll talk about West Virginia banning food dyes in their school meals. Finally, something good out of West Virginia. Elon Musk dropping bombshells about millions of non-citizens receiving social security numbers and benefits from our government. Canada is deciding they may not want to be our ally anymore, while Tesla protesters can't even remember their own chants without a script. Chicago schools somehow managed to teach exactly 0 kids how to read last year. Plus, a Jeffrey Epstein victim has now been injured by a school bus. All that and much more coming up on today's episode of America Unfiltered. James Pascalides, starting now.
The moment is here. This is our moment.
America, we are back, baby. Welcome to another episode of America Unfiltered with James Pascalides. I want to dive right into our topics today. Our first topic, I want to talk about some government waste, fraud, and abuse. I want to talk about USAID paying $4 million to name Zelensky Person of the Year. So Zelensky was named Person of the Year in Time magazine not long ago, and a lot of people were curious why he would be named Person of the Year. A lot of liberals speculated because they thought he was a hero for the war in Ukraine. Well, a lot of American taxpayers are like, he seems like a guy who's just taken a lot of our tax dollars, has prolonged this war, and has canceled his elections. New reports from Elon Musk Department of Government Efficiency has now reported that USAID, under the Biden administration, paid $4 million to secure the spot for Person of the Year for the Ukrainian President Zelensky. That is a ridiculous waste of taxpayer dollars, American taxpayer dollars. No reason should we be building up his image for him. That's something he could do on his own. No reason should we be spending taxpayer dollars to build up his image for him. No reason should we be continuously sending more money to Ukraine or funding anything that benefits just Zelensky for no reason. Why would we want to make him Person of the Year? What does that benefit? Who does that benefit besides the warmongers who want to keep the gravy train rolling and keep that war funded in Ukraine because they know they were pocketing more than half the money we sent over? We sent over $300 billion while under $100 billion was actually received by Zelensky because the vast majority of the money was laundered by bureaucrats. It's waste, fraud, and abuse, and it needs to be stopped. And I'm so glad the Department of Government Efficiency is finally stopping things like this from happening in our government. I mean, imagine if we didn't have Elon Musk stopping things like this. $4 million just for someone to be the Person of the Year. We would have so much more waste, fraud, and abuse down the line as the government kept getting filled with more and more bureaucrats if Donald Trump and Elon Musk didn't set a course correction to this issue. So I'm very grateful we have them in the spots they're in. And while we're on this topic, I do want to go over some more waste, fraud, and abuse that we're currently finding out. So Elon Musk just yesterday reported that over 2.1 million illegal immigrants received Social Security numbers in 2024. So that's an insane amount. That's enough to flip states. It really raises not only a ton of concerns just about immigration policies under the Biden administration, how they were allowing this to even happen, but we're not verifying and vetting all these people the same way the people who have waded through the legal immigration system have been vetted. So to just give these people Social Security numbers and to pretty much put them in situations where they can, through fraud, vote in our elections is not okay. It's what the Democrats' overall goal was with illegal immigration. They wanted to import voters. They wanted to take illegals from other countries, bring them to America, and pretty much say to them, if you want to keep getting these thousands of dollars in free food and benefits and housing that we're going to give you, free medical care, vote blue, because that's the only people who's going to give you it. If you vote red, you'll lose all that, no matter what they tell you. And that's true. If you vote red, they will lose all that, the same way they should. Illegal immigrants should not be receiving a dime in taxpayer dollars. It makes 0 sense for someone to break America's laws and then receive money from Americans from their tax money. It is ridiculous. You don't see people robbing liquor stores and then going to prison, American citizens, and then receiving stipends from the government for that. That doesn't happen. So why should illegals break into our country, which is a crime, and then be put in 5-star hotels, given 5-star meals and 5-star treatment all the way while they're in here? It is not okay. It is waste, fraud, abuse, and it is creating a hammock. It is creating a situation where people get extremely comfortable. It's a similar situation to welfare. One of the biggest things that American taxpayers and conservatives have against our current welfare system is right now it's a hammock, not a safety net. People get too comfortable and they'll stay on there for way too long instead of trying to build themselves out of the situation that they've fallen into. It's not meant to be a hammock, it's meant to be a safety net, and a very short-lived one, not one that you stay on for prolonged periods of time, especially like the ways these illegal immigrants have under Joe Biden's term. For almost 4 years of Joe Biden's term, they only built the number of illegal immigrants in this country, and the total number of money we were spending on them only went up. California right now is facing a deficit because they didn't anticipate how much money it would cost to give all illegals free healthcare, which is something they voted for. I don't think anyone should receive free healthcare, not even Americans, because nothing's free. It's paid for by somebody. But to give illegals free healthcare and not Americans is one of the most ridiculous things. This isn't me arguing that Americans should. Like I said, nothing is actually free. Someone is always paying for it. But it is a ridiculous statement and a ridiculous thing by the Democrats that they think that allowing illegals into our country and giving them all our taxpayer dollars is a good idea. Whoever came up with that is very, very low IQ and should be removed from our government. The fact that Kamala Harris, Joe Biden allowed this to happen with the support of different people in our Congress is absolutely ridiculous. I want to go on to our next topic. We're going to talk about how this is again on waste, fraud, and abuse too. On the fair elections in Wisconsin, they found nearly 5,000 illegal voters are registered in Milwaukee. And the city election commission is declining to investigate. They're saying they're not even going to investigate how it happened, what happened, who's doing it, or what it is. They are removing the voters from the registry, but why are you refusing to investigate it unless you know that there's corruption behind it? I'm very certain that they know that there's corruption happening in the state and they know who's behind the corruption. That's one of the main reasons I'm sure they don't want to investigate these things. If they had any chance to prove that a conservative was doing something negative, they would jump at the chance to investigate that and not only prosecute but publicly shame that conservative. So there is zero doubt in my mind that this is that it is the opposite, that it is a liberal who is doing this and that they are protecting them now, because that is what they do. They don't follow the law in instances like this, and they try and protect each other when it comes to protecting themselves against conservatives. I put that in air quotes because of how ridiculous it is. I really think the fact that over 5,000 people are illegally registered to vote in one city is a huge problem. And the fact that there's not more Americans and more news sources talking about this is a huge problem as well. You're not going to hear CNN or MSNBC ever talking about that. You want to know why? Because it does not fit their agenda, because their voters would not like to hear that. It's a very ridiculous thing the way our media operates. It needs to be a lot more bipartisan and a lot less biased. I want to go on to our next topic. So this is a sad one. The GOP headquarters in Albuquerque, New Mexico was set on fire in a massive arson attack. So I'm going to show you guys a picture of this. I'll pop it up for you guys. But it's highlighting the political tensions in the country. It's showing that liberals they're going crazy. We're going to get to a whole segment later about liberals burning Teslas and keying Teslas and carving swastikas into Teslas. But liberals they're burning down the GOP headquarters in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's extremely ridiculous that liberals are getting away with so much. It's crazy that they will call us the party of Nazis and violent criminals and things like that, while they are the ones who are violent criminals, while they are the ones who are actively trying to hurt people. They think we are so hate-filled when in reality we just don't want our taxpayer dollars wasted. That is the main goal of the conservative movement right now, is our taxpayer dollars have been wasted and we're done with it. And liberals hate that. Liberals hate the fact that we don't want our money spent in other countries. We don't want our money spent on illegal immigrants. We want our money spent on American citizens. Somehow that's a problem for liberals. I don't think that any right-minded American should feel that way. And anyone who does, I urge them to reach out. I would love to have that conversation with you about why you think that any of this is okay, that any of the violence by liberals currently is okay. I'm going to pop this quick picture up for you guys of the burned down headquarters in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's really sad that liberals default to this. Obviously, it's not all them, but it's really sad that they're burning down a GOP building in New Mexico. They're destroying various buildings, and they're destroying Teslas all over just the country. It's very, very sad. It makes no sense. It's very backwards. We're going to get to how backwards it is when we get to our Tesla segment here a little later. But I do want to go on to our next topic. I want to talk about, this one will be a quick one too, but I'm going to talk about how the SEC, they're closing their investigation on Haley Welch, the Hawk Tuah girl. No charges are going to be filed. This is something I predicted. If you invested money in the Hawk Tuah girl's, meme crypto coin, you're an idiot. No offense, but yes, you're an idiot. You're investing real dollars into something that's technically not worth anything. A meme coin that was launched by a girl who got famous because of a video talking about giving blowjobs. If you invested any money into this, I'm almost happy you lost it. It's a very ridiculous. How ridiculous are you that you invested even a penny into this? What? Are you kidding me? I don't think there should have been any charges filed. This is something that's extremely common. There are many celebrities doing, different crypto plays, and I think over time the government will start to regulate them more. But I really don't think that, I don't think anyone who invested in that was smart, and I don't think anyone should be upset that they're not filing charges or should have expected them to file any charges. I do want to go on to our next topic. This one is another quick one, but another happy one. We're going to talk about West Virginia for a second. So West Virginia has become the first state to ban food dyes in school meals. This is a law that goes into place on August 1st, 2025. The food dyes, things like that, they've been linked to a lot of potential health risks, including a lot of behavioral issues in children and different cancers as well. This is positioning West Virginia as a leader in food safety regulations, setting precedents for other states. I'm very happy that they did this. I think all 50 states should follow, and I think the federal government should just make it a mandate. I think it's insane that our country and our companies in our country are allowed to feed us poison and get away with it and have been doing it for generations. It is not only causing, like they talked about, behavioral issues in children, but things like ADHD, different disorders, things like that. And it's making it a lot more difficult on parents. And it's completely changing the landscape of parenting, raising children, and navigating on which foods are healthy, which are not. When our parents were growing up and our grandparents, their parents didn't have to worry about the food at the grocery store being poisoned the way we do today. So I'm very glad that West Virginia made this move. I hope all 50 states and I hope the federal government follows very shortly. I'm going to go on to our next topic. So this one's a pretty ridiculous one, but a new report has come out, and it's extremely sad and extremely concerning, and I bring this up because recently the Department of Education is being dismantled by the Trump administration, which a lot of people are going against, but I'm very for, and this is one of the reasons I'm going to explain. A recent report indicated that in over 30 Chicago schools, not a single student is reading at their grade level. So in over 30 Chicago schools, not a single student, not one. That is extremely ridiculous. And a lot of people are saying, oh, there's different socioeconomic challenges, things like that. But in Chicago, in Illinois, they are continuously voting liberals into office, and they are continuously declining in not only their safety in their cities, safety in their state, they're declining in education, they're declining in their economy. The prices are skyrocketing over there in rents and things along those lines. So it is extremely problematic in the United States when we're investing more money than ever into education, but our children are getting dumber. It's a huge problem when we have more administrators in school than teachers. What are these people doing all day? They're doing nothing except collecting paychecks. I'm sure there are some good ones, but there are many who are not. And there are many teachers and professors with tenure who should be fired who are not and can't be fired. The education system has become a mess since the Department of Education. Anyone pulling for the Department of Education system to not be taken away, I want you to give me one statistic to show me where we're better since the Department of Education has become a thing. Because we're worse in math, we're worse in reading, we're worse in science, we're worse in every single academic standpoint we're worse in. The only thing we're doing more in is spending more money. We have more kids failing, we have more kids with depression, we have the most depressed generation of children ever. So tell me one way the Department of Education is succeeding. Please leave it in my comments, email me, send me a message, anything. I'll have you on the show if you want, but nobody, not one single person can give me one statistic where we're doing better in, because we're not. We're failing our children with the Department of Education. Donald Trump is doing the right thing for America, removing it. I'm very glad that we're going to move to a system that focuses on the strengths and education of children and not focuses on lining the pockets of administrators and just the corruption that happens in the Department of Education. I want to go on to our next topic and just show more of the hypocrisy and delusion happening within the United States with New York. So Senator Patricia Fahey introduces a bill to ban Tesla dealerships in the state. Why are you trying to, A, hurt an American company who makes American-made cars in America, employs Americans, booms the economy, is traded on the stock exchange? Why is a senator trying to hurt American jobs, hurt American companies, and why is she trying to control what states a company can set up a car dealership in? Like, it's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard, one of the most biased things I've ever heard. And it goes so far backwards on everything that liberals and Democrats have been working on for so long. So liberals and Democrats for so long have been working on climate change, and we need to lower emissions. Everyone needs to drive green. We need hybrids. We need EVs. Liberals were jumping at, Elon Musk to buy Teslas when the EV credits were dropping. They loved him. All different things like that. Elon Musk one day, after Trump gets shot in Butler, Pennsylvania, says that he is going to be voting for Donald Trump and he's going to be campaigning with Donald Trump. And not only that, he will be working with Donald Trump, not with, but for Donald Trump, with the Department of Government Efficiency to lower to make our tax dollars better spent. That set liberals off in a way that it's weird to describe. Liberals went from loving climate change, loving EVs, to now destroying them, to now saying we're not even going to allow you to sell them in our state. It's one of the most ridiculous bills that someone in our Senate has introduced. It is a ridiculous thing to say you shouldn't sell your car in the state, especially a progressive state like New York that wants to lower emissions, that has such a dense population in such a small area in their city. And if they did have more Teslas and EVs, it would benefit them a lot more. I really disagree with Patricia Fahey. If you voted for her, I urge you in the future not to again. She obviously has an extremely low IQ, zero business sense, zero sense of what her constituents want, and zero sense of what this country was founded on. I'm going to go on to some of our next topics here. They're all very related to this. We have a couple other Tesla topics we're going to talk about. But I want to show you guys a picture here, and then we're going to talk about it. But anti-Tesla protesters and protests have been going on for days now, and leaked pictures are showing that they are using scripted chants. So these protesters, it implies two things. One, it implies someone's paying them to be there and they're giving them these chants to read out. And two, it's implying that these people are so dumb they can't remember 4, 5, 10-word chants. So I'm going to pop a picture up of this real quick and then we're going to pick it apart. It's a little funny to think that they can't remember chants that easy. I mean, all those are 8, 10-word chants. Your average high school football crowd can remember more chants than those people. And there has been reports as well about all these people doing these protests across America. Specifically on Saturday, there was protests across America at Tesla dealerships. But there's been reports that at 12 p.m. on the dot, that they all leave and go home. Obviously, this could be organized, by event organizers, but it seems like they're paid to be there. There has been a lot of verified reports about Democratic paid protesters throughout the last few years, and I bet this is just another one of those. But there are a lot of just crazy irate liberals who are, like I said, doing acts of domestic terrorism, burning down Tesla dealerships, burning cars, and keying swastikas and things like that into these cars. The fact that I have to explain how ridiculous it is to key a swastika into a Tesla and then say that the Tesla owner is the bad guy, the fact that you have to explain that to a liberal is insane. But I'm going to play right now a little highlight montage that I made myself of a bunch of liberals destroying and keying a lot of Teslas, and almost all these people have been charged, and the remaining ones, police are still seeking them out, and they will be charged, which I'm very glad about. So I'm going to play the highlight video for you guys right here.
Yeah, you're Elon Musk, huh? This is Rocket Man? How about FU? FU, look, this is
Analyzing a Tesla outside of Planet Fitness in Doylestown on Monday morning. The victim says he found a swastika scratched into the side of the Tesla and then checked the vehicle's surveillance video, which, well, recorded the incident. Employees at Planet Fitness were able to identify the man. Central Bucks Regional Police say he faces criminal mischief, harassment, and disorderly conduct.
Free service. How about you pay for the repairs? Write a check. You just bought a Tesla.
I can wipe it off
with
a towel.
No,
it's not a key.
It is a hate crime, sir. It is a hate crime. Did you write a swastika on there?
I'm sorry you're upset.
Did you write a swastika?
It didn't even work. Apparently it doesn't work.
Did you write a swastika on the... It's a key, sir. We see it on the video.
It's not a key.
Is it a swastika?
I was probably putting my keys in my pocket.
Is it a swastika?
Have you looked at your car? Is there a key mark?
Yes. Is it a swastika?
That's impossible.
It's at the police right now. It's being fingerprinted.
What do you mean it's being fingerprinted?
Because they're trying to track you down. Thankfully, Facebook tracked you down. So your business, your freaking livelihood, everything now.
Listen,
because you chose to write so to tell Facebook that you're sorry for writing a swastika on a Tesla.
Listen, I said I'm sorry.
For what?
And I apologize.
For what?
I have nothing against your car, and I have nothing against you.
So why would you write a swastika on a Tesla?
Obviously, I have something against Elon Musk, but that's not the
so
way
Elon
to show
Musk owns that car because
No,
it was
he
bought
owns
and
the
paid
company.
for. It was bought and paid for a long time
That's
ago.
why it's misguided, and obviously, I did not intend to do this.
All right,
sir.
we're gonna wait for the.
Take a look at this. This is video from the victim's Tesla camera. It shows a green car pulling up to a Tesla on busy Route 66, then swerving in front to box the Tesla in. The driver then walks over to the 61-year-old woman in the Tesla and reportedly starts hitting her while she's sitting behind the wheel. At one point, the woman says she bit the man's hand. Moments later, the passenger of the green car appears to walk over and pull the attacker away. They finally get back in their car and drive off. We spoke to the victim today, who said she was terrified and can't understand why anyone would do this.
I was just stunned, and I wished that I would have had someone with me that would have protected me. I'm just appalled. I didn't buy my car for a political statement. I bought my car because it's really fun to drive, and my politics have nothing to do with that. And I'm ashamed of our society and what they're doing.
The victim, along with the other Tesla owner who received a threatening note and text, have both now signed up for a gun safety course at a gun range north of Flagstaff. They tell us they don't feel safe right now and want to be able to protect themselves.
It's extremely sad when things like this are happening, when liberals are going out of their way to destroy Teslas. A lot of the Teslas are probably owned by liberals too. Again, like I was just saying, liberals were the ones who were behind Tesla in the beginning, and then when he started to align with Donald Trump, they completely abandoned his side and said he was a Nazi and a terrorist. So I really don't understand the delusion of some liberals. I don't understand how they can just flip-flop like that, but that's how they have done it time and time again. I do want to go on to some of our next topics. We have a quick one here, but there will be a lot more information emerging on this in the future too. But Canadian Prime Minister Mike Carney has stated over the weekend that the relationship between Canada and the United States is over. Carney and Donald Trump also had a phone call following this where they said they were able to have a lot of progressive talks and they were able to get a lot done. There is no official termination of the U.S.-Canada alliance, but it is something we could potentially see going forward, and I will definitely keep you guys updated as we see more information on that. But this would not be something that is smart for Canada at all. Like I said, I think Canada's best option would be becoming the 51st state. It would benefit them very greatly. Our next topic, I want to show you guys a quick video. We're not going to talk about it too much after. It's just a video posted by the White House. But this is a video of the Venezuelan immigrants getting deported on the planes. As you can see in the video, there's not one child or woman in there. There's just grown men, military-aged men. What happened under the Biden administration was not just a massive influx of illegal immigrants, it was a full-scale invasion. People emptied their prisons, other countries emptied their prisons and said, the only way we'll allow you out is if you go to America. They're taking people in right now, go there. That's exactly what happened. We had a full-scale invasion under the Biden-Harris regime, and Donald Trump is course-correcting, deporting all the illegal immigrants back to their home countries, to jails in other countries, and to where they need to be. They should not be in America. They should not be receiving a penny of taxpayer dollars, which they have been receiving millions of. They had illegal families with over $10,000 given to them for food alone per month. That's ridiculous. Americans do not have anywhere close to that budget. And like I've said, this isn't me arguing that we should be giving more welfare to Americans. It's arguing that our taxpayer dollars need to be better spent for the American taxpayer and for the American people. I want to go on to our next topic. This one's an extremely ridiculous one. It's happening overseas, but the British Sentencing Council is implementing longer prison sentences for white men starting tomorrow. This is pure and utter racism. If we said that they were giving longer prison sentences to black men, longer prison sentences to Muslims, longer prison sentences to any other race besides white men, it would not fly. So they're saying that they're going to give less sentences to women and minorities, arguing that they are going to try and course correct from the racism, systematic racism they've had in their country for time. This is extremely ridiculous. This is just, when you say reverse racism, that's racism. Punishing white people because they're white is racist, and it is extremely ridiculous, and as a white man, it pisses me off. It is extremely unfair to say we're going to put you in jail for longer because of the color of your skin, and to just outright blatantly say it. Not that it should happen in the shadows, but for them to think it's an okay thing to even say out loud is it just goes to show how lost and how ridiculous the liberals and left party has gotten, and how certain countries are so far lost as well. I mean, in America, we have to be so happy that we got our independence from Britain. They don't even have free speech in their country, and white men are getting sentenced to longer prison sentences for no other reason other than they are white. It is so dumb. For our next topic, I'm going to show you guys a quick video. This video is a TikTok video, extremely ridiculous, but it shows a liberal white woman claiming she is done dating white men.
Friendly reminder, as a white American woman, I will no longer be dating white men. I'm looking for anything other than a white man, okay? Just a heads up.
In general, I don't speak for all white men. White men haven't voted to make me their king or anything. They haven't gave me any special voting power. But I am going to go ahead and speak for all white men and say we're okay with this. We're completely fine with it. I don't know one single white man who would date this woman. She's very gross looking, very old, well past her prime. It's a very weird thing to post a video like that online. I don't post videos online saying who I'm trying to date or who I'm sexually attracted to. I don't know why you would do that, what the benefit is. I think those things should be kept private. But this woman found it necessary to tell the world that, yeah, she no longer wants to date and sleep with white men. And like I said, again, I think this is something as white men we're very okay with. I don't think any white man is looking at that video and like, oh, I got to win her over. She is very grotesque. I think we're fine without that one there. It's not really much of a loss. I want to go on to a couple of our next topics. We have 2 topics left. One is going to be a very quick topic. I want to talk about how XAI, they've officially acquired X, consolidating their tech assets. Their plan is to try and influence AI research and development. Elon Musk was the CEO or owner of X, and he is a part of XAI, so his company XAI acquired X from him. I really think that this is a move that could not only boost just the overall platform and what it really can do, but incorporating the AI side of things, what they already have with Grok, their growth potential is pretty infinite now, and it sets them way ahead in the AI field compared to other companies like OpenAI, which Elon Musk actually also started. I want to go on to our last topic, and this one is a crazy one. As more information comes out about this, I'm definitely going to keep you guys updated because I feel like this is a potential conspiracy here. But a well-known Jeffrey Epstein victim has been injured by a school bus. They were hit by a school bus, and now they're given just 4 days to live. We find this information out from an Instagram post from her. Her name is Virginia. It's extremely weird that there wasn't a lot of reports on the actual traffic incident of the school bus hitting her. I feel like this would make major headlines, but no, there were no major headlines. Just a post from her saying that she has 4 days to live after being hit by a school bus. If you're not a conspiracy theorist with this one, very confusing to me, but as the Epstein information is starting to roll out now, one of the Epstein victims is basically blatantly getting murdered right in front of our eyes. It's Very terrible how time and time again the ghost corporations, the shadow government is able to get this done. The deep state, they're able to eliminate their potential rats, victims, however you want to phrase it. But to take someone who went through something as bad as she went through, and then to now try and kill that woman because the secrets that you had are being exposed, it's corruption at the top level. I really hope that more information comes pouring out in this in the next 4 days. I pray that she does not die. I pray for her life. She said that doctors are giving her, like I said, 4 days to live on the high end. So I'm praying that's not the case. I'm praying for her and her family. It's extremely terrible what is happening and what has happened. I'm James Pascalides. This is America Unfiltered, episode 38. I'm signing off today. I hope you guys all have a blessed day, and I will see you guys tomorrow.